Hello and welcome back to Beyond the Boundary. And post the GABA match, a lot of things have happened. A lot of things happened during the match, and we're going to talk about it. Of course, there's a bit of a gap between the GABA test as well as the next test match that is going to be the Boxing Day match at Melbourne. But lots is happening in the world of cricket, and we're going to talk about it right from the ICC deciding on something regarding the Champions Trophy, and we'll also be talking about the young lot that India has in the batting lineup who needs to fire. Hello once again, everyone, to Beyond the Boundary. I'm Pankaj Atavale, and let's welcome my partners in crime, Dwapa and Datta, and Gaurav Gupta, who also joined us apparently from the stadium at Navi Mumbai. Gentlemen, welcome to the show. And let's begin with the most important news that Times of India, of course, had posted very early. And now there's a confirmation on that the ICC has come up with the announcement that the upcoming Champions Trophy is going to be held in a hybrid model, and things are being done about it. So, Dwapan, this was more or less expected, you know. And do you think this hybrid thing will work as far as the Champions Trophy is concerned?
Yeah, it should work. There is no harm in it as long as it is happening. Both the boards are happy. This was bound to happen. I don't know why PCB did all the posturing that he did that they did. Like not that I'm in favor of India pushing for the tournament to go out of Pakistan or anything. Not that, but the
Correct.
posturing that they did was not necessary. And but then yes, it's better late than never. You always knew that this will happen. This is the only way all parties make money, all parties are happy, and at least for the next 3-4 years there won't be any these similar problems won't keep cropping up. So that's a relief in itself, and we will have the hybrid model. So that's fine. That's settled for not just the Champions Trophy but for 3 years, which means the men's T20 World Cup in next year. Gigi, most probably, yeah. So that solves a lot of things.
Correct. And Dwapan mentioned something about the cash component. Gaurav, it's very extremely important because now all the India-Pakistan matches, men and women, henceforth till 2027, in the ICC event will be played in neutral venues. The commercial aspect of it is very, very important, at least for PCB, because otherwise it could really boomerang for them. And generally, that's a very important area for them.
या डेफिनेटली पीसीबी के ऊपर बहुत ज्यादा बर्डन तो उन्होंने बहुत स्टेडियम्स को भी रेनोवेट कराया है इस टूर्नामेंट के लिए पंकज काफी मेहनत उन्होंने करी इस टूर्नामेंट लॉट ऑफ रेपुटेशन एट स्टेक हियर दिस इज द फर्स्ट बिग इवेंट दे आर ऑर्गेनाइजिंग आफ्टर द इन क्रिकेट आफ्टर द 96 वर्ल्ड कप और परहैप्स इन स्पोर्ट so they have a lot to lose if the tournament was moved out of Pakistan, which would have had to be done if in case they would not have budged from their stand. But having said that, I think the PCB has got a lot out of this situation as well. उन लोगों को एक वुमेन्स वर्ल्ड कप मिला है आई थिंक 2029 or something and or 28 and other than that also the written agreement I think in which with the statement mentions that for the next 3 years there's no pressure on them to come to India. They can play their matches at a neutral territory, which could be Dubai, which could be Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, anywhere. So I think they have also got a lot of meat out of it. We should be happy that we have we managed to stick to our stand. इसीलिए मुझे लग रहा था जब मैंने नजम सेठी सर का इंटरव्यू किया था जो पाकिस्तान क्रिकेट बोर्ड के चीफ थे a couple of years back when the whole Asia Cup this thing conflict was happening and eventually the matches happened in India played their matches in Sri Lanka. So that time only he had told me that look ये hybrid model इसलिए मैंने इसलिए agree किया क्योंकि आगे जाके यही एक solution है इस चीज का. I thought the BCCI also erred by inviting Pakistan to the World Cup at home next year in 23. अगर वो नहीं करते तो फिर ये पीसीबी इतना जिद नहीं करता कि आप आइए 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 आइए. तो फिर वो हम भी कह सकते थे कि हम भी लास्ट ईयर हम आप भी न्यूट्रल टेरिटरी में खेले हम भी न्यूट्रल टेरिटरी में खेलेंगे जब तक रिलेशंस नॉर्मल नहीं होते हैं बेस्ट टू गो दिस वे so I guess that is the best solution and I think it is the first victory for Jay Shah as ICC chairman by the way after taking over because ये impasse solve करना बहुत जरूरी था. वो गए ब्रिस्बेन ओलंपिक्स की मीटिंग करने ये वो लेकिन हम सबको पता था कि सबसे बड़ा जो क्राइसिस इस समय क्रिकेट के सामने स्टेयर कर रहा है वो ये है इंटरनेशनल क्रिकेट क्योंकि ये टूर्नामेंट बहुत जरूरी है. इंटरनेशनल क्रिकेट हैज टू बी हेल्दी and for that we do need a good Champions Trophy apart from the World Cup जैसे कि हॉकी में होता है या बाकी स्पोर्ट्स में. tournament.
Absolutely. और ये अच्छा हो गया कि sort out हो गया, and of course now the situation is that India will not travel to Pakistan, Pakistan will not travel to India. That's what has been decided, and the host will decide what neutral venue is to be there. But Dwapan, this whole Champions Trophy thing, such kind of an interesting history. It started off very well like a knockout tournament. Then they said, nahi, अपन हार जाएंगे तो everyone should get a chance. So then it started, and now in 2013 they said this is the end of the Champions Trophy. Then it just continued. Then it happened in 14, 17. And then they said कि नहीं अभी ODI नहीं होगा अभी T20 होगा. So there's a lot of confusion regarding the Champions Trophy. Does a ODI Champions Trophy, is it even lucrative in today's time?
Lucrative for ICC and probably the hosting board, like
Correct.
they lucrative as in they make money out of it. So and anything, any form of cricket in the evening with international star cells in the subcontinent. So TV के लिए तो बिक जाएगा. So if you say lucrative in that way, it is lucrative. But if you say for the audience whether it is lucrative or not, 50 over cricket as it is, I don't think it has much of a future. It has kind of got sandwiched between Test cricket, which is one form of excellence, and T20 cricket, which is one form of circus. So between that, this ODI cricket has somewhere got lost a bit. So I see a shift of Champions Trophy towards T20 cricket in the days to come, because T20 cricket only has one World Cup, though it is once in every 2 years and all that. So let's see. But but one thing going in favor of Champions Trophy is that there are less teams, so there are less one-sided matches. But sitting through one-sided ODI is very difficult business.
Yeah, well said. That's a very important point, because suddenly with the UAE and an Australia, it becomes quite a lopsided kind of thing, and then it becomes a bit of an issue. But that more or less, as both of you all have agreed, that sorts out a lot of aspects regarding ICC, India, and Pakistan neutral venues for ICC events till 2027. So that's not a problem. But let's now move down under once again, gentlemen, because yesterday we had a fantastic announcement. We spoke about it. A lot of reviews came. People were emotional on social media everywhere. Dwapan, you have written a fantastic piece today and on our Ashwin. And Ashwin immediately flew out of Brisbane. His parents, I heard that they had actually bought tickets for the Melbourne match, assuming that वो खेलेंगे. लेकिन वैसे हुआ नहीं. सारा परिवार वापस आ गया. And we have something very interesting. The reception at home for Ashwin. Let's have a quick look at Ashwin coming back home after his announcement. Emotional moments, family man, quiet, simple comeback could have been much better, could have been much bigger. But Wapan, you seem to be very emotional in the piece that you wrote today. एकदम ऐसे दिल से आ गई वो बात.
I've been covering him for so long, so you are. I'm then supposed to be emotional, at least. Yeah, I should sound emotional at least. But yes, uh, yeah, it is like the celebration. I think you can see there is a sense of heart there. Like a player does not go for a series with the intention of deciding during the very first test that he wants to come back, and
Correct.
by the third test he comes back. So there must have been something. There must have been a lot of things that were cooking. Things were obviously not right. A senior player of his stature, the better thing would have been probably not to take him. If that was the situation, that he would not be considered for the matches, and Rohit Sharma had to put in a word to have him in the second test and all those things. Then
Mm-hmm.
all what I feel is that given his stature, it would have been better if the selection committee and the people concerned had told him that there is probably no need for him to go to Australia if the situation is that. That would have
Correct.
been a better way of dealing with it. Instead of a cricketer of his stature coming back from Australia, deciding within the first test that he is going to come back and coming back after the third test. It
Correct.
kind
Correct.
of leaves a bad taste in the mouth.
Exactly, and I agree with you because simultaneously, just close by in the island of New Zealand, Tim Saudi got a very lovely kind of a guard of honor and deserves this. If anyone like Ashwin also deserved a guard of honor with the Australian team, on either side would have been an absolute brilliant kind of thing. But anyway, let's move ahead. And Gaurav, now we need to talk about the fourth and the fifth test match that is remaining. And the young guns are not firing. In fact, no guns are firing except one or two here and there. And today we need to talk about Rishabh Pant, Shubman Gill, and Yashasvi Jaiswal. A lot of our viewers have also been asking about it. Friends, do send us your comments. What do you think? Who among them should continue, or Yashasvi Jaiswal, Shubman Gill, or Rishabh Pant? इनमें से कौन आगे खेलेगा नहीं खेलेगा कौन चलेगा नहीं चलेगा बताइए. What do you think about it? But Gaurav, talking about Rishabh Pant, I mean, Gavaskar साहब said that वो keep अपना shot अपना घर पे रखो और चुपचाप मैच के हिसाब से खेलो. It's a bit too much, I guess, flashy kind of an aspect from Rishabh Pant in the first two test matches.
यार ये गावस्कर साहब को मुझे समझ नहीं आता है. बहुत जब ऋषभ पंत के यही शॉट लग जाते हैं तो वो ताली बजाते हैं, सब लोग बोलते हैं बहुत बढ़िया है ये वो. वही शॉट जब आउट हो जाता है तो सब लोग गाली देते हैं. ये जो है ना, हम वी शुड आल्सो रिस्पेक्ट प्लेयर्स हु आर flashy and who are, who have their own style of play, that they will get out to shots which look bad, because the same shot when they pull off those shots they look very good. आप ब्लेम इधर उधर मत डालिए, अपने सीनियर प्लेयर्स पे ही ब्लेम रखिए. देखिए ये जो प्लेयर्स हैं, they are not junior players. Of course, Rishabh has been playing now for a while, and obviously he
Correct.
needs to better his performance and sort of take more responsibility. He's batting at number 5, which I think was always going to be risky. I still think he's not a number 5 guy, number 5
Oh.
batsman, because थोड़ा उनका जो गेम है बहुत फ्लैशी है for that
हाँ.
position, unless he's really in form. So वो एक थोड़ी तकलीफ है उस स्पॉट को लेके. Other than that, I think when you're carrying two players who are really out of form, aging and not performing as per their potential, it puts a lot of pressure on the younger players. I understand this. Shubman Gill is 21, 22. Okay, Yashasvi Jaiswal is 22. Rishabh Pant is also not a very, very old guy. He's 25,
Correct.
26. ठीक है ना. तो ये प्ले और ऋषभ पंत शायद जो एक बात गावस्कर सर ने सही कही कि जब से वो ऑक्शन में बिके हैं 27 करोड़ में, तब से वो थोड़ा सा आई थिंक वो एक उनको वो आ गया है कि मतलब एक होता है ना कि भाई मैं तो डिजर्व करता हूँ, बताता हूँ कि मैं क्यों इस लेवल का प्लेयर हूँ. मैं तो बॉल को टच करता हूँ और बॉल चौका चला जाता है. थोड़ा सा ही हैज टू बी ब्रॉट डाउन बैक टू अर्थ कि बॉस, this cricket is a game, this is a great leveler. You've had 2 great tours of Australia, but that doesn't mean you'll have a third one unless you sort of apply yourself well. तो वो है, मैं तकलीफ में मानता हूँ. लेकिन ये घूम फिर के हमने जो अपने सर के ऊपर 2 सीनियर्स को लादा है out who are completely not been. I mean, yesterday also, amidst Ashwin's retirement, these two were trolled heavily.
Yeah.
So it makes you feel sad that कि ये क्यों हो रहा है इनके साथ में, नहीं होना चाहिए था. And as Dwaypan said, I would add to that forget about Ashwin, even these two should have been spoken to during the New Zealand series, and perhaps they should have taken a younger squad to Australia under a new captain and sort of gone for the jugular, sort of gone for
Correct.
taken that leap of faith with our slightly, but वो बहुत bold selections होते हैं और बहुत bold calls होते हैं. हमारे पास में इस तरह के selectors रहे हैं, संदीप पाटिल, Dilip Vengsarkar, people like that of that stature who have taken those calls. Unfortunately, with Ajit, Ajit Agarkar took some tough calls, but it was more with the mid-level players, as I keep saying,
Correct.
not with the superstars. अगर वो लिया होता तो शायद यह सिचुएशन नहीं होती. But having said that, it is very worrying. Shubman Gill's record, I was just seeing a tweet 2-3 days back. It's horrible outside,
Yeah.
Asia, especially outside India. It's just completely, so ऐसा भी नहीं कि टर्नर्स पे वो बहुत अच्छा खेलते हैं, वहां भी उनकी सर्टन वीकनेस है, बट ही स्टिल गेट्स दिस थिंग निकल जाते हैं वहां से. I think moving ball outside off stump, he has serious issues to address. Yashasvi Jaiswal again too flashy in the beginning, ठीक है, और and also got a bit ahead of himself, telling Mitchell Stark कि ball बहुत slow आ रहा है, ये वो, तो थोड़ा सा I thought he got ahead of the game, and this game can be really give you kick, as Stephen Frank once said, it can give you a kick on the backside once you start taking it for granted. तो वो हुआ उनके साथ में.
बिल्कुल.
Other than that, I think you cannot carry boss when you're playing the best team in the world, the numero uno team in the world, who are the world champions in at least one format. You cannot carry outperforming seniors. I'm sorry, you cannot do
Interesting.
that.
And Dwapar,
Especially in
I'd like to
batting.
add to that, Test cricket generally tells you not to jump the gun, and most of the youngsters in the Indian squad have jumped the gun. So, before I come to Shubman Gill, Dwapar, do you think that having a contemporary of yours as a coach, rather instead you have someone who may not be the greatest coach, but with a bit of grey hair, who will just say, what was that? Because sometimes the coach in the international squad is just to quietly reprimand and keep things in place. Rather, so can you have a slightly international Indian older fellow instead of Gautam Gambhir to take care on such foreign tours?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. Gautam it has to be Indian coaches only. Indian players, Indian stars don't listen to uh, others. Like
Yeah.
stars are stars. Indian stars are something. They are rock stars. So you have to understand that. And so the coach is basically a kind of a man manager, and there is this somewhere they all have a second guy like. He has Abhishek Nair, who kind of runs the ship for him. He maintains the everyday, day-to-day kind of things, and Gautam is in charge of the entire ship. That is the basic idea. And Gautam in his own way is strong, extremely opinionated. He will have his views. So, like if he has to say something, he will say something right on the face and very direct. He is not a very not a very comfortable guy to be around if you are not performing. So make no mistake about that.
Yes, but
And
Dwapar, the younger lot coming and saying झुकेगा नहीं. I mean that's not acceptable ना भाई, तुमको तो झुकना पड़ेगा भाई, टेस्ट मैच है आखिरकार.
कौन झुकेगा नहीं? कोच झुकेगा नहीं कि
प्लेयर आके बोल रहा है यंगस्टर्स की झुकेगा नहीं, हम ऐसे खेलेंगे. शुभमन गिल, ऋषभ पंत, I mean
जिसका उन लोगों का गेम ही ऐसा है, जिसका गेम बना ही है उसी तरह से है, वो उसी तरह से खेलेगा. थिंग इज एक इनिंग्स में एटलीस्ट टू प्लेयर्स हैव टू क्लिक मींस 100 and 150. Then if the others also fail, then the problem is when India is failing, none of them are coming good, and you have two players who are just not coming good. They have decided that they will not come good. तो वहां पे थोड़ा प्रॉब्लम होते जा रहा है. तो
correct. And of course,
We are playing with 9 players. We are playing with 9 players.
At the moment, they're playing with 9 players. Unfortunate but true. That is very true. That they're playing with 9 players. If you have an option of 6 players on a difficult pitch, there is a chance that 2 will come good in this innings, 2 will come good in that innings. But if you bring it down to 4, then chance becomes less. No. So that is the problem. Your KL Rahul has scored in 2 matches. Ravindra Jadeja has scored in 1 match. Yashasvi Jaiswal has come good in 1 innings. So there has to be a collective effort. That collective effort is not happening.
It cannot be a cycle stand effect कि भाई धन सब चले गए. चेतेश्वर पुजारा यही कह रहा है जायसवाल को कि someone needs to tell him that you cannot drive the new ball in Australia. He's searching for the full deliveries. He knows that he can score a few drives here and there, but you cannot. You need to drive like here. Rahul, take it easy. Now these are very basics, Gaurav. ये तो मतलब अच्छा बासित अली ने भी एक स्टेटमेंट कहा, हालांकि बासित अली मतलब ठीक ठाक ही प्लेयर थे, बट उन्होंने जो कहा वो सच कहा कि भाई ऐसा लग रहा है कि शुभमन गिल में भूख नहीं है. Do you think both of you all, starting with Gaurav, do you think that Shubman is actually not 100% fit? Because you can understand with the body language. Yes, you're coming back after the break. लेकिन एक थोड़ा सा एक होता ना कि बहुत फ्रेशनेस होती है, वो दिख नहीं रही उनकी बॉडी लैंग्वेज में.
आई थिंक ये फिंगर इंजरी का बहुत बड़ा लफड़ा होता है, ये प्रॉब्लम आता है। और यही जतिन परंज पे फॉर्मर इंडिया बैट्समैन मेरे को कह रहे थे सीरीज के पहले दैट फिंगर इंजरीज टेक टाइम टू हील एंड योर बैटिंग डज गेट अफेक्टेड एंड ही वाज सेइंग इनफैक्ट कि 2-3 टेस्ट के लिए वो बाहर होंगे। मैंने ऐसा लिखा भी कि ऐसा हो सकता है, मेरी भविष्यवाणी गलत हुई, वो खेले सेकंड टेस्ट, ठीक है, बट he looked a bit gingerly, and when a player is not 100% then I think it reflects in terms of the stroke play, because you're not sure, you're still not sure about the fingers, ball feeling the bat, so थोड़ा सा वो प्रॉब्लम आती है। I think that issue is there and definitely वो issue आया है उनके साथ में, and I would still say that maybe it's not a bad idea to consider a Sarfaraz at this point, considering that maybe a Gill is a bit down on confidence, fitness, and give him a bit of a break. Just a guess, अभी आप बड़े दोनों घोड़ों को तो बिठाएंगे नहीं, तो भाई मैं गिल का ही नाम ले रहा हूँ, वही सॉफ्ट टारगेट है इस समय।
नहीं, सरफराज से अच्छा जुरेल को ले ले, बिकॉज आपने जो बताया कि
हाँ, या जुरेल को ले लें,
क्या आप इनफैक्ट ऋषभ पंत को नंबर 3, विराट को नंबर 4 और फिर जुरेल और फिर नीतीश रेड्डी, तो थोड़ा सा स्टेबलाइज भी हो जाएगा?
नहीं, ऋषभ को नंबर 3 तो डेफिनेटली नहीं, नंबर 5 पे मुझे वो थोड़ा मिसफिट लग रहा है। आई डोंट सी ऋषभ कमिंग,
भेजना पड़ेगा
और ऊपर भेजेंगे अगर ऋषभ को तो और फंस जाएंगे, ठीक है, वो नहीं है उनका वो गेम वाला, ठीक है ना। ही इज somebody who will come good, he will somebody who will not come good on say 6 occasions out of 10, and on 4 occasions he will click, that is my reading of him, and that is also the problem that we have with Nitish Reddy, again a talented batsman but not somebody, he's yet to prove, still finding his feet in international cricket, करेंगे वो अच्छा 30-40 बनाएंगे, but can you expect him to score a big 100 or something? I have my doubts. So a lot of questions are there to be answered, in terms of
कुछ 50 तो कर ले, सेंचुरी तो छोड़ो, बट कुछ तो करे. बट द्वापा, in the sense, what do you think? There are 2 questions for you. One is Abhimanyu Easwaran, KL Rahul, जाओ सिंपल खेलो, get यशस्वी at number 3 and then let the things happen. ईश्वरन ने क्या मतलब गलती कर दी, क्या पाप कर दिया?
That till the end of the third test, these speculations about this first top 7, unless somebody gets injured in practice, is a futile exercise, because it will not change till the third test. अगर third test हार जाएगा and the WTC final thing will be over, then don't be surprised that there can be some massive changes in the fourth test. Fourth and fifth. Sorry, I'm getting it wrong. Fourth and fifth, yeah. So if they lose the fourth test, then there could be some massive changes in the fifth test. If the WTC final slot goes out of the window, तब हो सकता है. But before that, I don't think any changes will happen in this test. They will stick with the same batting lineup that played in this test match. Abhimanyu Easwaran played 2 India A matches and failed in all the 4 innings. So there is no empirical data to suggest that he will be successful, and I'm sure that he has not been great in the nets also, because these net sessions are very important and decisions are taken on the basis of the form in the net sessions.
Okay.
So जैसे हर्षित राणा वाना खेला, so those things are there. So I do not see any change in the top 7 unless there is an injury in the Melbourne test.
ओके, चलिए तो चलते चलते थोड़ा सा हम ऑस्ट्रेलिया के बारे में भी थोड़ा सा बात कर लेते हैं, बिकॉज वी हैव स्पोकन अबाउट पंत, वी हैव स्पोकन अबाउट गिल, यशस्वी, गौरव यू मेंशनड, ही इज अ यंग गाय, ही नीड्स टू बी गिवन सम टाइम, बट ठीक है, चेतेश्वर पुजारा हैज गिवन इन सम इनपुट्स, बट ऑस्ट्रेलिया आल्सो हैव अ सिमिलर प्रॉब्लम इन द फॉर्म ऑफ ख्वाजा एंड मैक्सवेनी, तो फिलहाल सेट हो गए, बट अच्छा ऑस्ट्रेलिया के पास भी कोई दूसरा ऑप्शन है नहीं गौरव यार ओपन कराने के लिए अपार्ट फ्रॉम ख्वाजा एंड मैक्सवेनी.
यार वही तो बात है कि उनकी बैटिंग इतनी वल्नरेबल है, ठीक है, इवन लाबुशेन इज नॉट एट हिज बेस्ट, द ओपनर्स लुक शेकी, एंड स्टिल वी आर नॉट एबल टू, जस्ट एक ही स्टीव स्मिथ फॉर्म में है, लास्ट मैच में 100 मारा उन्होंने, ठीक है, और ट्रेविस हेड जो कि जिनका के पास हमारे पास कोई जवाब नहीं है. बेसिकली आई थिंक द डिफरेंस बिटवीन द 2 टीम्स राइट नाउ इज ट्रेविस हेड, more or less. It was Bumrah at first, and from then on it's been Travis Head. So unfortunately वही हो रहा है कि हम एक बैट्समैन की वजह से, अगर काश हमारा कोई ऐसा बैट्समैन फॉर्म में होता, वो नहीं हो
Hmm.
पा रहा है. So ये एक बहुत बड़ी समस्या हमारे आगे आ गई है. But regarding one thing about your Shubman Gill is that the team has restored, kept a lot of faith in him. In the past, I have seen that उनको मौके दिए गए हैं. So
Correct.
I think, and he will come good. He has in the past come good. Game है उनके पास में. So as Dwaipan said, the best idea would be to go with this 11, because यशस्वी जायसवाल को भी वैसे डब नहीं कर सकते यार. फर्स्ट टेस्ट में उन्होंने 100 मारा था. He will play those shots. वो होगा. तो occasionally बॉल हवा में जाएगी, फर्स्ट बॉल पे उड़ जाएंगे, सडनली एक दिन 100 भी मार देंगे. तो अभी that is how this generation is. That is how this generation plays its cricket. So वही है. अभी बस आपको ये होप करना है कि आपके जो दो बड़े सीनियर बैटर्स हैं, ये जो है थोड़ा सा भाई फॉर्म में आ जाए, कुछ करें, ठीक है. और
हाँ.
नहीं आते हैं तो भाई फिफ्थ टेस्ट, as Dwapan said, we could see a few fresh faces. Sarfraz definitely I see him playing at Sydney if we lose the fourth test. And perhaps I don't know Ashwin कैसे आएंगे, क्योंकि ओपनिंग तो बिल्कुल फिट है. But
Correct.
maybe if Yashasvi Jaiswal has another couple of failures, because KL Rahul looks very good. He looks the best Indian batter on this tour by far. ठीक है. तो I feel, because I think थोड़ा सा सरफराज का भी नाइंसाफी हुई है, क्योंकि देवदत्त पडिक्कल आ गए सडनली, नंबर 3 पे स्क्वाड में भी नहीं थे,
Yes.
नंबर 3 पे बैटिंग कर गए. Obviously I know Sarfraz doesn't bat at number 3, but perhaps Virat could have batted at number 3 and Sarfraz could have been fitted in. Dhruv Jurel scored a couple of impressive half centuries, but then I am not again of that favor ki, because he's batting well there, and he's a wicket keeper. So he is basically somebody who's pushing Rishabh Pant for a place in the side. If Rishabh Pant has an extended lead run, then you think of ki bhai we can play Dhruv Jurel. That is what I think. But
Interesting.
more or less,
Interesting.
bowling
चलिए तो
obviously is our strong suit, but
yes.
batting, lot of
So
questions to be answered.
Australia also have enough problems on their hand. चलते चलते Dwapan, do you see the WTC alive till the fifth test, और अगले मेलबर्न में ही more or less मामला सेट हो जाएगा कि WTC में कौन जा रहा है, इंडिया और ऑस्ट्रेलिया?
You never know. Like, India is also a very unpredictable side. Australia gets to bat first. They're down to 50 for 5, and then it's a different game. Or India doesn't lose more than 2 wickets in the first session of the first day, and score 70, 80 runs. Then it's a different game. You never know. So and Australia तो ज़्यादा खास team तो कुछ है नहीं. But they are also a pretty mediocre side, as Gigi was saying, banking
Yes.
heavily on Travis Head.
Absolutely.
If they can get Travis Head into bat within the first 15-20 overs, forget the first 3 wickets, and get Travis Head in early,
Absolutely.
then it's a different game. So you never know. You never know. You cannot write off Australia. So anything can happen. There is no point speculating whether a WTC final will be alive at this point.
नहीं वो
And in the
speculation
second
कराना
innings
तो
they
बड़ा
did look
काम.
vulnerable.
Yeah.
वो
They
second innings
did
में
at
vulnerable
the
लगे, वो
moment
जो
they
89
tried
for
to
7
throw
हुए.
a few shots. They looked extremely vulnerable.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, that's my job to kind of speculate, That's why I'm here. But that's the fun of Beyond the Boundary. Just 3 percentage points if you look at Australia and India, the difference as far as the WTC is concerned. 58.89 Australia percentage and India 55.89. So that's going to be the fun. So that's all we have on Beyond the Boundary. Dwapan and Gaurav, thank you very much for joining us. And friends, please do make sure you send your comments on this particular episode. What do you think about it? We'll be back again on the same channel. But make sure you like this video, share this video, and of course, subscribe to our channel. Thank you, Dwapan, Gaurav, once again, Pankaj Athavale signing off.
Thank you.